Hi, and welcome. My name is Joe, and we're playing Not for Broadcast Timeloop. Day 126, investigation of the themes and morality behind...
Oh God, I've turned into that irritating nephew of mine. He can't shut up. Always has to comment and everything. He's a smug little so-and-so. Or, more accurately, I'm currently a smug little so-and-so.
Got a plan of attack?
I'm going to start on the variants and move on to the consumer stuff once he's on the ropes.
Not two on the ropes. We still have to have the button pressed, Adrian.
Not if he chooses not to. The only one who can stop the experiment is Magnus.
Very
And
interesting.
what will we fill the rest of the schedule with tonight?
That's Kenneth's problem.
Shit.
He'll think of something. He's nothing if not creative.
Yes, I am.
Creativity away from my employment contract, if that's okay.
When you hire Adrian Atkinson Blimey, you know what you're getting.
It's a popular science piece.
And what you're getting is a skilled dissection.
Adrian, this is not incisors.
Certainly looks like incisors. I mean, this is the incisors studio, isn't it? And oh yes, this is definitely my background. Look, it's got incisors written on it. Oh, and there's my face.
You are dreadful at sarcasm.
But excellent at journalism.
10 seconds, everybody. You can bark, but you can't bite.
Okay.
Keep it smart, everyone.
In 5, 4,
Wait.
3.
Yeah.
Good evening. Tonight on Channel 1, we'll be dedicating most of the schedule to an innovative experiment. Dr. Charles Magnus and his sagacious collective claim their Euphoria device, this contraption you see right here, will make all of us more convivial, including you. Is that credible?
No.
Or even ethical?
No.
Tonight, with the help of you, our discerning viewers, we are all going to find out. I'm Adrian Atkinson Blimey, your host for an evening of experimental harmonic science.
That's about 40 seconds back. Can we get the guests in and mic checked, please?
My nan watches this, Joe.
Smart woman.
5 degrees, 2 homicides.
I know, I interviewed her lawyer, remember?
Oh yeah, I forget. You think this is normal?
You're a strange man, Colin.
You're not the first to say that, Miss Blimey.
Good evening. Nice to meet
She said not to talk to him, remember?
Who?
The scary lady.
All ladies are scary to you.
10 seconds.
She said that he doesn't like to speak to guests before interviews because it
Going
puts us
in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. In just a few minutes, this singular machine will be activated, marking the inaugural investigation into emotional resonance. But before we switch it on, let's dig our teeth in. Dr. Charles Magnus, you are the head of the self-styled Happiness Collective and the inventor of this fascinating emitter.
Yes, that's correct. Good evening. And this is my assistant.
Chester Mims, 24. It says here that your favorite numbers are 5 minus 800 and the square root of -1.
Yes, that's right.
If I understand it correctly, gentlemen, and I should imagine that I do, your device's frequency should raise the vibrational state of all conscious life until we attain a frequency that your experiments have demonstrated represents happiness.
Yes, that's right.
That's the theorized outcome.
But of course, it's not just felicitousness, is it?
No.
Other frequencies could also be targeted by the same technology.
Well, yes, theoretically, but why would you want to do that?
Maybe that's a question for someone else?
I'm not an ethicist.
I am.
Mr. Mims, this device is rather large and cumbersome, and what we see here is only part of it, I believe, as the relay has had to be hardwired into the power conduits in our broadcast room. Am I correct?
At great
Well,
expense.
of course, this is the first iteration. Let's not forget that the earliest computers required huge rooms to house them. And over time, they've become able to fit on just a moderately large desk. We'd imagine that in the future, further iterations would be much more portable and personal use.
Yes, we can perceive a world where people can choose to alter their emotions whenever they want and whatever they want to feel.
Domestic devices? Emanating on a room-sized scale?
Yes, at first, yes. Eventually portable, perhaps even pocket-sized. I mean, just imagine the possibilities.
Yes, I am. I'm thinking of the possibility of inviting a female guest back to my emotionally controlled room and setting my home device to induce lust in her.
Get him, Adrian.
Of the rebellious teenager who takes his to school set for anger. The offices set for fear, compliance.
Why would
That's a great
anybody in their
idea.
right mind want to do that?
Why does humanity
Right.
do any of its evil?
Again, oh Christ, I'm not an ethicist.
I am.
People happier.
For now.
Whilst I respect your line of questioning, Adrian, I have to confess, well, I'm feeling somewhat ambushed.
I'm afraid that your confession will have to wait, Dr. Magnus, because
Brief. Leave it with me. I have.
5 seconds, Prime Minister.
the nominal leaders of our fragile coalition government. Are you receiving me, Prime Ministers?
Loud and clear, Adrian. What an exciting evening. When we formed a coalition, one of the first pieces of common ground we planted our mutual flags on was the importance of supporting our science and technology industries.
After all, what's the point in all that superior education we're providing if there's no jobs at the other end of it?
Dr. Magnus and his team impressed us with the simple, well-intentioned nature of their project. Everyone happier. How could we not fund that? It is, after all, one of the 4 basic requirements of a government.
And all this experimental technology was funded by the government.
Well, yes. I mean, we've invested record sums in funding the science and the
So I assume you own the resultant technology.
Well, not us, Adrian. The public own this incredible technology. It was, after all, their taxes that paid for it.
But the public don't have the capacity to alter the device, do they? Or to make other devices?
Well, what sort of other devices?
That's an excellent question. Let's chew on it for a while. In 1518, the residents of the city of Strosnov in southern Skonsk experienced what was known as the dancing plague.
Fascinating.
People began spontaneously dancing and they didn't stop for days. It was infectious. More and more people joined in. They literally danced themselves to death.
You're making that up. I mean, surely he's making that up.
You can look it up in an encyclopedia after the show, Prime Minister. I'm suggesting that if one amplifies this device sufficiently, it becomes a weapon, does it not?
What, make the enemy dance themselves to death? Well, that's hardly an effective military strategy, Adrian.
Or with a few garble adjustments, surely it could send an enemy encampment mad with rage or suicidal with despair?
We have no such plans. Nor would
Yeah,
Dr.
of
Magnus
course.
and his
But if
team
you had that
sanction such a
opportunity.
use.
Think of it. At the flick of a switch, demonstrators are calmed, protesters pacified.
We would never use such a device on the general
Of
population.
course.
And what are the commonality? In a society where this technology is commonplace, how would a citizen know whether the emotions they were feeling from minute to minute were even their own?
Yeah, where's your science now, bitch?
Insightful questions, as always, Adrian, but tonight is about an attempt to make people happier. And, well, we're here just to wish you all the very best of luck.
Back to you in the studio.
The Prime Minister's there.
Pricks.
And of course, without the funding that you receive,
Jason, his nasty little questions and his fucking orthodontic metaphors.
Well, you'll be happier soon.
Yes, but it'll take more than a fucking resonator to cheer me up, I can tell you.
We'll see.
I'm
In the collective, and
Oh, was it her?
Stand by, stand by.
Oh, you know Dr. Magnus.
Clearly wrong.
Chester does like to fantasize. Anyway, this unnamed professor and I were, by pure coincidence, discussing the dancing plague of 1518. And she
We've already got that
reliably
one. I mean,
assures me
other than
that
being
the
with me,
Bliss Gate
there's really no
Secretary
reason to
will
be
negate any
here.
concerns about such an eventuality.
Oh, so
but
she's a
that is
professor.
untested.
I can assure you that the T-tests are absolutely magnificent to behold. And besides, if we discovered any negative effects, we could simply turn the device off. It's not permanent, Adrian.
So you say?
You know, Mr. Blimey, I always thought that you were a man of intellect, a ruthless campaigner of precision and truth.
I am all of those things.
No, you're not. You're
You're a grumpy old man who can't see the good in anything.
Manners, Chester.
No, I'm sorry, Dr. Magnus, but I'm really quite upset.
Well, I can see that. You're practically apoplectic.
Yes, I am.
Because
All you want is a little bit of happiness for a short amount of time.
intended
And you're
it
a
for
good
good.
man, Dr. Magnus. I know that. And if she can't give it to you, then I'll give it to you instead.
But is the human animal responsible enough for this type of technology? Do we have the
Shut
perfect
up, Adrian!
No, this guy is scissors.
Well, you got the honorific, which means we're done here, I think. Shame. It's been a pleasure to be in such a well-rounded body. Guess this is a goodbye. You seem lovely, if a bit scruffy. If you need me, you know where I am.
Yeah, that's I don't know if that's actually a good intention that they trying to make people happier. Happiness must not be cheap like that, like given by some machine. Okay, let's go. A new one. Is it actually, like, for people you will attend? Stand by.
Winston, this doesn't look right. I think we should...
Speak when spoken to, worm!
And if we have any mistakes during this broadcast, all of you will be spending 20 minutes in the agonizer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Where is my wolf?
Here, Controller.
Listen to me, worm. Tonight we are working at the behest of the Over-Governor herself. Do you know what that means?
Yes, Controller.
It means that everything will go very
Oh.
smoothly. Do you understand?
Yes, Controller. By your expectations, Controller.
Controller. Disseminate.
Are the prisoners ready?
Bring in the prisoners.
Yikes.
I'm Disseminant Wolf. I speak for the Over-Governors. You will answer my questions clearly and concisely. Is that clear?
I refuse. I won't take
Do you want to spend an hour in the agonizer? Or perhaps we should put your friend here in for a week.
Please don't do that.
Leave him alone. He has nothing to do with my protestations.
It's no use trying to reason with him.
Quiet! Worm, fetch us coffee.
So, Prisoner Magnus, what's it to be? Will you be participating in the broadcast?
You leave me no choice.
An accurate assessment.
What are the actual facts going on this time?
You there.
Jenny, you look like my Uncle Frank.
You will refer to me as Controller.
Righty-ho, amazing.
Where is your uniform?
This is what I usually wear.
Insubordination.
Why is Megan dressed like a dominatrix?
You will not address the disseminant by name.
Again, amazing.
Do you want to go into the agonizer?
Nah, I think I'll just go and grab a muffin.
Annoying little peasant.
A sensible decision. Controller, shall we?
10 seconds, scum. The Empire expects. Do not fail her. 5, 4, 3.
Subjects of the Empire, I am the Disseminant. Tonight's mandatory broadcast sees the Empire achieve even further greatness. The Over-Governor, all hail her might, has decreed that tonight you, her loyal subjects, shall be the first to receive her boon. So don't move that dial, or you will be extinguished.
This is a mandated broadcast on all open channels. All citizens of any status are required to cease all current activity and fix their attention on this screen. Failure to comply will result in severe punishments for yourself and those you love. The Empire expects.
A few short months ago, Dr. Charles Magnus and his co-conspirators were conducting unapproved scientific experiments. Do you confirm?
I confirm, yes! Yes, I confirm, ma'am!
Fortunately, the Over-Governor was able to intervene and turn a potentially lethal experiment into a project for the good of the Empire.
There was nothing lethal about it.
Working under intense supervision and with the firm hand of the Empire to guide them, work has been completed on this. The productivity device will grant all subjects of the Empire the gift of unfettered productivity. Finally, all subjects from Overseer to Worm will be unshackled from
Of all the preferences,
freed to meet the expectations of Empire.
I'm becoming inhuman.
From the effects of the device.
good.
Shall I return to my worm space now?
Remain nearby. I have further need.
Over-Governor, your
Expectations over, Governor.
Subjects. For too many years, we have been the victims of our own emotional vagaries. I am no different. This is my worm. Yesterday, I visited his worm space and found him engaging in... Well, why don't you tell them, worm?
I was engaging in prohibited self-pleasuring.
Prohibited self-pleasuring. To wit, reading.
I'm deeply ashamed of myself.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Worms can't read. Well, apparently, a great number of them can. They're secretive little things, aren't you, worm?
Worms are expected to be discreet.
I contemplated how best to discipline my worm. My logical mind told me to simply disintegrate him and find a replacement. But something was arguing with my logic. I thought of the many years where he has faithfully met my every need, the counsel he has kept and the expectation he has fulfilled. And I was forced to admit that I had feelings for this worm.
Oh, Governor.
Not romantic feelings. Who could be attracted to a male, after all? But nonetheless, feelings that one might have for a family pet or a favorite soft toy as a child. These feelings, they are the reason that you see him standing here today, undisintegrated.
Thank you, Over-Governor. It won't happen again.
No, it won't. Our feelings make us ineffective. They make us unwise. We cannot ever put our own needs ahead of those of the Empire. And after tonight, we will not have to. Attend the following broadcast with concentration, subjects. The Empire expects. I now return you to the disseminant.
In just a few short minutes, we cast off the shackles of emotion.
Wait!
Control the worm!
Please, listen to me. We need our emotions. Without them,
I
we're
would
not...
think very carefully before finishing that sentence.
Controller, please listen to me. For all the years we've spent together, this device, it can't be switched on.
He's right.
Emotions aren't something that's to be suppressed. They are art, music, and stories.
Also right.
Would you please stop doing that?
Sorry.
Controller, please. If you only ever hear one thing I've ever said to you, let it be this. Only you can stop this experiment. Controller. Jenny. Please. Save us all.
Of course.
I hate that name. Proceed.
Yes, Controller. Rejoice, subjects. The Empire expects, but she also rewards.
You'll destroy our humanity. You can't do.
Dominatorverse.
There's nothing here. We should go.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, new date. Oh, I actually didn't try to change this to in only in the second part. Yeah, I need to try it. Maybe it will be the same, but date. Ooh, coming to you live from the heart of the capital, 2601.
Fresh hell is this?
No, Chester, I will not tell you again. We went over it 17 times in the taxi on the way over here. Now, I like repetition as much as the next man, but one must draw a line somewhere.
If you could just sit here, please, Dr. Magnus. The host will be with you shortly.
Should we run a little thought experiment, Mr. Mims?
Oh, yes, Dr. Magnus. That sounds like fun.
Good. Let's begin with some data gathering. These couches, how many people do you think that they comfortably accommodate?
Probably 2 apiece.
Good. Exactly. At most, I'd postulate.
Well, allowing for personal space, I agree with your conclusion.
Good. Next variable. How many people host the nightly show?
I believe there are 3.
Once again, I concur. Well done. Now, computation. If there are 3 hosts, how many seats are left?
1, Dr. Magnus.
And what can we conclude from this data, Chester? Well done.
Sorry, Dr. Magnus.
Off you trot.
Something wrong, Colin?
What happened to news?
News? I think I remember that.
This is... Oh, God, this is light entertainment.
Are you okay, Colin?
I just met someone in the corridor who said they were Patrick Bannon.
That's Patrick, yeah.
But it isn't, and this isn't. This is awful. I need to lie down. How'd you let this happen? How could you? Let what happen? All this.
How you
Remind me how we let this happen.
Something about King Canute, if I remember correctly. Dr. Charles Magnus. This is Jeremy Donaldson. Jeremy, Dr. Magnus.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr.
Because
Donaldson.
we have been over this, Patrick. If it is in my dressing room, it is mine, okay? If you want your own, ask Jenny.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll get 2.
Great.
How about that?
Get as many as you want. I don't care, Patrick.
And when something really awful happens to yours, yeah, I'll keep both. How about that?
Is that a threat?
Yes.
Did everyone hear that?
Patrick! Robin! This is Dr. Charles Magnus. He's our guest this evening.
Hi, lovely to meet you.
Yes.
It's a pleasure.
Nice
It's a
to meet you
pleasure.
both. Is everything okay? You seem to be at loggerheads.
10 seconds, everybody.
Us? No, we're fine. A bit of showbiz.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson, and welcome to The Nightly Show, your #1 source for digestible talking points. As ever, we're joined on the couch of chat with inexplicably popular co-hosts Robin Short and Patrick Bannon.
Thanks, JD. Great to be here with you as always, but particularly today when we have such an uplifting show ahead of us.
That's right, Robin. On tonight's special extended edition of The Nightly Show, we'll be doing some science stuff with one of the country's top brain boxes, and it's gonna make you grin.
Yes, science stuff. In an impressive building overlooking the picturesque hills of Chintleberry.
It's the one they used the outside of for John Wax 5. You broke my fingernail, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was some filming, but we were rather busy at the time.
Probably doing science stuff.
No, they did. You know, I've seen that movie 14 times. Oh, don't worry, not loaded.
Disagree.
We're pleased to welcome Dr. Charles Magnus, whose casually named Happiness Collective has been working on a secret project designed to make us all happier.
Oh, even you, JD.
I remain dubious.
Now, you must have noticed this bonkers-looking thing. Well, this is called the euphoric device, and apparently it's going to make us all happier. Did I get this science right, Doc?
Actually, it's called the Euphoria.
So don't touch that dial. Stick with Channel 1 all evening as we bring you
The Night of Smiles.
Coming to you.
That's a minute back.
Jenny?
Oh, Jeremy.
Yeah, So earlier on, Patrick said something to me that made me feel quite uncomfortable.
Oh.
It was a joke. It was a
banter.
Oh, she made a threat, actually. It was a threat
right,
against
okay.
my
I'd
life.
hardly
I'll
call that
tell
a
you
threat,
what,
really.
both of you, why don't I just get Sue from HR to come down tonight after the show and you two can sit and talk it all out with her until it's done. Shouldn't take more than a couple of hours.
Tonight?
Well, she did make a threat.
She definitely did, but I have a thing.
Tonight?
Yes, well, you know, my show's on.
Yeah, it's actually tonight's really not great for me either.
Oh, maybe we should just forget it then.
Yeah, I think that's probably for the best.
Yeah, you know, upon further reflection, I may have
Overreacted?
possibly.
Excellent.
Jeremy
Okay,
doesn't
10
know
seconds, everybody.
how he get there.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. In just a few minutes' time, we'll be turning on the Euphoria.
Oh, I wish someone would turn on my Euphoria device.
Oh, crikey.
It's been ages.
But before we do that, let's attempt to have a conversation about the science behind the spectacle. We're joined here by the leader of the Happiness Collective, Dr. Charles Magnus.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
The head of a collective.
Yes, Patrick, I was bemused by
Does
that.
that make you like Alpha Geek?
It's not exactly the
That is
terminology.
brilliant.
So, Dr. Magnus, this is a big night for you. You must be very excited.
Yes, that's an accurate observation.
That's an accurate observation. I love this guy. I love you, you crazy brainiac.
We both do. We love you.
But slightly more impartially, we do actually have a couple of questions.
As I would expect.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Magnus, who are you wearing?
What? Who am I wearing? I'm not wearing anyone. I haven't been hugged in 8 years.
I think they're asking who designed your clothes.
That seems to be an entirely irrelevant subject.
Yes, I agree, but you'll be surprised how often it comes up.
Well, we just get the lab coats as a job lot.
Job a lot. Oh, isn't she that enfant terrible that came out of San Palmerino? I love her.
Honestly, I've really no idea what you're talking
Now,
about.
Dr. Magnus, I'm sure our viewers would be curious to understand your process.
Yes,
a bit.
good. Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
So, when you're slogging away on those late nights at the lab, what music do you listen to?
Well,
I'm sure the doctor would rather talk about his devices.
Brahms, some Schubert, Chopin. Focuses the mind.
Exactly as you would expect.
And I'm something of an aficionado on the song Drum Drum Bang a Bang.
Drum, drum, bang, a bang, straight up, wham, wham. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Drum, drum, bang, a bang.
Drum, drum, bang a bang. Now I'm all flim flam. Got me in the clim clam. Spinning on my wag wham. Come and say my yam tap. Drum, drum, bang a bang.
It's such a tongue twister. It's so catchy.
Right, good. That happened. Perhaps now we could turn to some possible problems with the experiment.
Absolutely. I mean, well, we've got this great big studio to set up your device in. But, well, it is incredibly big, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not very consumer friendly.
It's a very specific colour scheme.
I wouldn't sue everywhere.
No.
I shouldn't think.
Well, I suppose that's true. Theoretically, we could, given enough time, make it a little smaller and perhaps personalise it a little.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yes.
I mean, I know I would love a happy button. Maybe you could put them on a key ring. Oh, how great would that be?
Oh, let me try.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. I'm happy now. JD?
I'll pass.
Oh, I love that, Patrick. I love it, love it, love it. Oh, what you say, Doctor? Want to go?
Dr. Magnus, alongside these no doubt crucial aesthetic concerns, there are some more rather serious ethical issues, aren't there?
Well, that sounds absolutely fascinating, Jeremy, but we're going to have to stop you there because we are going to introduce our surprise guest.
What? I wasn't told about this.
You've made a fuss again.
Please welcome. Well, it's only the bloomin' Prime Minister, isn't it? Julia Salisbury!
You have got to be kidding me.
Prime Minister! Julia, please!
Julia, it's so good to have you back on the couch of chat.
Oh, you know, I never miss the opportunity to pop in.
It does seem that way.
Yes, any more pop-ins? We'll have to put you in the titles.
I presume you're here for the experiment?
Yes, well, after all, you did pay for it.
Actually, we paid for it.
Yeah, well, you know, when I first heard about this project, I jumped at the chance to fund it. Increased happiness for everyone in the territories. What could be more advanced than that?
Thank you, Miss Salisbury. We really have appreciated your government's unflinching support for the project.
Oh, you're very welcome, Dr. Magnus. But actually, that's not why I'm here. I just popped in to show you something.
The latest budget forecast, perhaps a groundbreaking new policy document.
God, no. I get enough of that at the office. Yawn. Ready? Pick a card.
Really?
Oh, you're such a party pooper. Pick a card, Patrick. 6 of clubs. Oh my God! The 6 of clubs! We're gonna shuffle.
To make sure it's
Gonna
fair.
shuffle.
Yeah.
There we go. Right, you'll go. Pick a card. Pick a card. Okay. 6 of clubs.
Well, obviously, the whole pack is entirely full of the
That's
6 of...
funding's lovely, isn't it, Charles?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Prime Minister. Thank you, yes.
Well, as we're all doing magic tricks, let's see if the big one actually works, shall we? Let's go over to the machine.
Chester Mims, 24. My favourite tastes are glacé cherries, toothpaste, and vegetable
He's
gravy.
nobody. He's just an assistant. Chester, move out of the way and let the Prime Minister get to the button.
But Dr. Magnus, all my years of training.
Are as but naught when compared with our annual magnificent funding check.
Don't worry, Mr. Mims. At Advance, we recognise the contributions of all, from the greatest to the meekest, as equally important and equally valued.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
I mean, I still am going to press the button, though, so... Let's get a little countdown going on the screen. And there we are. Lovely. Come on, everyone. That's 10, 9, 8, 7, and 2, Mr. Donaldson. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
TA, the nightly show.
Winston, I shall be long dead before I ever let this happen at Channel 1.
Okay. I marked your words. So, let's try this. I'm just curious if it will be the same. Ooh, day 1350. What?
Winston, my office seems to have got a lot smaller.
No, this is developers of the game.
So, it's a time loop.
Yeah. And a multiverse.
Yeah.
We can just do one or the other.
No. How much is this going to cost?
The button, sir. So this is the button that freezes time, is it?
Yeah. And how much did that cost?
Who needs a fourth wall? Witness the initial pitch on the writer's note.
Were, but I don't like them, and I think we should leave.
Okay, this one. Today. Hashtag satire. Interesting.
Winston, I'm not what you would call a tech guy. I have a strange glass slab here that seems to want to see my face. I'm not sure I trust it, so I've put a balaclava on. Let's not stick around here any longer than we have to.
I've told you 1,000 times, Chester. It's the number of... Do you know what? I'm going to text it to you. That way you'll have it written down and I won't have to keep on repeating myself.
Yes, of course, Dr. Magnus.
If you could just sit here, please, Dr. Magnus. The host will be with you shortly.
Thank you. Not you.
Sorry, Dr. Magnus.
God, why do they have to make these keyboards so bloody small?
Everything all right, Carl?
What is that? Secret government technology?
What are you talking about? My phone?
Phone, give me a break.
Well, I really don't know what you're on about. It's not the latest, but
Do you really not have your own phone, Carl?
Yeah, at home, attached to the wall like normal people.
You used to have a landline. No, like...
Oh my God, you got one too?
Tell you what, tomorrow lunch break, I'll take you out to the shops and we'll go get you one, eh?
Why do I want a telephone in my pocket? It's annoying enough when it goes off at home. I never get anything done.
Phone ringing off the hook, is it?
I don't know. I've got friends. Sprong's are very social. It doesn't even look like a phone.
What doesn't look like a phone?
A phone, apparently.
Well, he has got a point. It does look more like a glass coaster.
Don't you start. Dr. Magnus, Jeremy Donaldson. Jeremy, Dr. Magnus.
Pleasure to meet you, Dr. Magnus. You're the one who came up with the happiness device, is that it?
Well, actually, it's the Euphoria device. The Happiness Collective is the organisation that created it.
Oh, well, I'm sure that's a vitally important distinction.
Sorry I'm so late. Difficult selfie. Bozeman's new promotional campaign is just nuts.
What new promotional campaign?
Well, this one, Jeremy. The look behind the lens. Come on, it's all about the engagement.
Why wasn't I told about this?
Maybe you would have been if you'd answered your phone for a change.
I like to keep it on mute.
Or read your DMs.
I don't know what they are. I just want people to call.
Then why is your phone... No, you know what? I'm not doing this. 10 seconds, everybody.
Oh, Professor Magnus, your Tom talk was just amazing. 31
Going
million
in
views.
5, 4, 3...
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. Welcome to this special OneLive.net event hosted by your national nightly news team.
We are, of course, still broadcasting on Channel 1.
This is Dr. Charles Magnus, whose organisation, the Happiness Collective, have built a device to make us all smile.
For more background, click on the link below.
In just a few moments, Dr. Magnus will introduce his device and explain what we can expect to feel tonight.
And, of course, you can get involved in the conversation yourself by using the hashtag Smile.
So don't close that tab. Keep OneLive.net with you all evening as we bring you the night of hashtag smiles.
Okay,
The holy heck is a hashtag.
so does anybody need anything?
Yes, details about this promotional campaign.
Intending to join us? Update your socials.
Of course not.
Smile, Jeremy. Less of a smile now. You're just scaring the children. No.
Why does everyone have to keep plastering their image all over everywhere? I just don't get it.
Jeremy, that's literally your job.
But it shouldn't be, should it? It should be... I have fact-based information to impart.
Do you?
All I have is bickering
10
opinion.
seconds.
It's not the same.
Right you are.
It's not the same,
Right,
Jerry.
your opinion, is it? Going in 5, 4, 3...
Welcome back. We're joined tonight by a face that launched 1,000 memes. It's Dr. Charles Magnus, renowned scientist, influencer, and host of the popular podcast, What's Wrong with Chester?
Hello.
Dr. Magnus, thank you so much for being here. Your Euphoria device has been all over Biff Baff and my face for weeks now, and I don't mind telling you that our comment section is just popping off with questions for you, so let's dive straight in.
Or perhaps, before we do, you might like to talk a little bit about the science involved tonight, Doctor.
Well, actually, there's a documentary available to stream on the Happiness Collective's website, newhappynow.org, which goes into a lot of depth about the theoretical quantum physics and vibrational science behind tonight's work.
Absolutely, I've watched it. It's fascinating stuff and all in under 2 minutes.
Sounds rigorously academic.
Well...
Let's go to the Tattle feed now, where incidentally both hashtag smile and hashtag hot doc are trending.
Really?
This is from AJ is R27. They say another thought machine to keep the sheeple happy, before going on to make some fairly outrageous claims about chimpanzees in the basement of a sushi restaurant and plug his Your Screen channel. But he does end by saying, ask them where their funding came from.
Well, actually, that is a valid question. How did you pay for all this?
Well, AJ is R27. Obviously, we had a very successful crowdfunding campaign on Begging Bowl.
I remember.
Listen, I'm not following this at all. What do all these words even mean?
And to come to his other points, the machine doesn't actually affect thoughts, just feelings.
But aren't they inseparably linked?
And
I mean,
the claim about the chimp fiddling is absolutely just fanciful internet conspiracy nonsense. Probably put out by that Alan James and his ridiculous webcast.
thank you, Doctor. We'll be looking at more of your questions in a minute, but first, quick reminder to
Like and subscribe. Yeah, that's right. If you want to be among the first to find out whenever we release new content, don't forget to hit those buttons and keep an eye on your inbox.
Speaking of which, let's get back to tattle. This next toot is from Unity, Dignity and Equality for All. Well, I'm a little on the nose, but fine. They say, I, for one, think this experiment is a wonderful idea. Providing happiness for everyone is surely the most altruistic government policy of all time. I'm so grateful to Advance for making it happen. There's no question there.
No, but a lovely sentiment for the Doctor and his team.
Yes, indeed, and thank you very much. And I would also like to second that thanks to Advance. Even though we exceeded our stretch goals several times over, it still required a huge cash injection from the government to get us to where we are tonight.
And don't forget, if you've got an unlikely science experiment you want to try,
you can get a government grant at advance.com/fundmydream, and there's a link, of course, in the description below.
Right, this next one is from... Oh, actually, I think I follow her. Yes, she's a fantastic scientist, and I think maybe even one of your team, Dr. Magnus. This is from D. Klein, 1984. It's been the high point of my career to work with someone as impeccable as Dr. Magnus. Only the firm hand of his leadership could have brought us all to this brighter tomorrow. He is a stallion among foals. And they sign off with a peach emoji and a heart. Oh, sounds like you might have another fan there. Hashtag hot dog.
Yes, yeah, thank you very much, madam. That was
Don't think so.
too kind. And you were, of course, integral to the development of the Euphoria device, and I wish, I really wish, excuse me, do we know if the people sending in these comments and questions are actually watching right now?
Well, they've only just come into the chat, so it's probably a safe bet. Yes. Now, if we could just move on to our next one.
I think we should start the experiment immediately while Miss D. Klein 1984 is still
Not
watching.
likely, Alex.
Chester.
Well, actually, we do have a format that we were hoping to follow, and we're not quite at the point yet where
We
want
can
to
get back to the tattle as soon as we start the experiment. Perhaps when the euphoria kicks in, it won't be so full of angry cunts.
Why?
To a better tomorrow.
To a better tomorrow.
Miss Klein.
Miss Klein. Okay, so, yeah.
Right, we got her surname. Let's get out of here. These bits of glass keep lighting up and buzzing. I think maybe they're broken.
Let's go. 3 TV. So we have only... Whoa.
I've told you 1,000 times, Chester. It's the number of mating rituals I've attended when no one has turned up, followed by the number of blessings the entity has bestowed under my left arm, the date my predestined match was sacrificed by my best friend, the age my pet Gwoglaw was when I was forced to eat him, the number of times I've communed with the darkness, and the exact position of the celestial bodies when I first felt its dark touch. I honestly don't see why that's so hard for you to remember.
If you could just
he follows
please, Magnus, the host will be
the
with you
cursor.
shortly.
Not you.
Dr. Magnus, I don't like the way it's been looking at me lately. Isn't it possible for me to sit here?
No, definitely not. Honestly, you think too highly of yourself, Chester. You're not chosen. You'll be fine. Now go and wait over there.
Yes, Dr. Magnus.
Yes, Chester, do come closer.
Be respectful in its presence, please, Colin.
Interesting. Wouldn't want to live here, though.
Live where?
You know, here, with that. Definitely different, though.
What's different?
My clothing choices, if you ask my mother.
She's half blind, though, isn't she?
Doesn't seem to stop her. Jeremy, this is Dr. Magnus. His assistant's floating around here somewhere, too.
Doctor? Pleased to meet
Floating
you.
around somewhere.
I'm afraid you may find me a little sceptical, though.
Science thrives on being challenged, Mr. Donaldson.
Sorry I'm late. Ancient curse. High Priest Magnus.
Doctor, I believe.
Either is appropriate.
10 seconds, everybody.
Seems like a conflict of interest to me.
Going in 5, 4, 3,
Good evening. This one is Jeremy Dawson.
And this one is Megan Wolf. It's the third blood moon in the year of the severed heart, and this is an Ancient One special event hosted by your arcane and occult news team.
In an ancient tower, concealed within the hallowed forest of Tittlewood, High Priest Dr. Charles Magnus and his appropriately named unworthy congregation have been working on a grand act of devotion.
They claim their Euphoria device will raise overall happiness levels throughout the country, which, as we all know, provides a dramatic and positive increase in taste for it that devours.
We'll be in and out of the schedule throughout the evening, with our eager team of supplicants standing by up and down its blessed stalking grounds. They'll report live, at first, on whether the device has brought a smile to their faces, and then later we'll find out if it's brought flavour to their veins.
We'll have sacrificial offerings from the worlds of science, religion, and entertainment, and of course, those all-important flavour results.
So don't move that dial, and as always,
appease the great ancient.
That's 45 seconds back. Seconds, everybody. 5.
You again.
Welcome back. In just a few swishes of its mighty barbed tentacles, this resplendent machine behind me...
Actually, Miss Wolf, I think it might be best if we conducted the experiment sooner rather than later, all things considered.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry, I was still on script. Maybe just a couple of quick introductory chats, though, to set the scene. You are Doctor and High Priest Charles Magnus.
Yes, I suppose so.
Please explain to our undeserving audience, how will this device please his great and terrible malevolence?
Well, as we all know, we are but food for the great ancient. It devours the divine one, horror, and incarnate. However, years ago, through a series of carefully conducted rituals, we gleaned that it has always found displeasure in our taste. It's a bit off, apparently. Well, according to our expert divinations, the beast is not content with our flavor. It's because of the soul-crushing fear we experience as it approaches at impossible angles from a darkening sky. It makes us taste a bit tart.
Even the sacrifices?
Yes. Our research suggests they can be quite scary too, for those on the receiving end.
I have noticed they often make a lot of a fuss.
I just assumed it was the ecstasy of being among the chosen.
It's a very difficult situation for the Undying One. After all, as we all know from the texts, its mere presence shall cause the blood to chill, and its touch brings forth the cold revulsion of disease and decay.
I can see how it might be hard to maintain a smile under those circumstances.
And it does like to play with its food, rather. An arm, leg there. As divine privileges go, it can be a bit traumatic.
I see. So it wants us to go to our deaths happy and with a smile, does it? Ignore that pesky survival instinct of ours.
Oh, those pesky humans.
Well, that seems entirely reasonable to me. How do we accomplish it?
Well, once I activate the Euphoria device, we will all be able to remain joyful and at peace, even as we watch our families devoured before meeting our own inevitable fate. We can meet our horrifically visceral ends without complaint or fear. In short, we will finally taste lovely. Ensuring the unspeakable horror will have a bountiful food supply for millennia to come, which I think we can all agree is the ultimate goal.
You'll get no argument from me.
Well then, without any further ado at all whatsoever, let's do this thing. High Priest Magnus, bestow upon us your mighty gift of blissful ignorance.
Okay. No. It's okay. I actually wanted this, but it's okay. We'll continue next time. We will end it here. I don't know how much more it will, how long it will be. So let's continue this next time. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Smash like if you did. Leave your comments and subscribe. See you in the next videos. Bye.